My beloved child, you are the one I have watched over in every passing moment, the one I have reached out to with my own merciful hand. And yet, what I see you carrying is not sin, not failure, but a silent burden named the future. You have worn it like an invisible cloak, growing heavier with each step, slowing your pace and pulling your eyes away from heaven toward unstable visions painted by your own imagination. My child, I know there are nights when your restlessness comes not from the past, but from a tomorrow that has not yet arrived. There are moments when your heart feels suffocated by the what-ifs, by looming possibilities and fearful scenarios you've convinced yourself, I've somehow forgotten. But haven't I always been the one who holds tomorrow? Am I not the creator of every moment in this universe? The one who knew you before you were formed in your mother's womb? Why, then, do you believe that I would ever let you walk into the future without me by your side? I do not rebuke you for your worries. I know your heart is tender, and I cherish the honesty of your soul. But today, I come to break the chain that binds you to something that was never yours to carry, the fear of what hasn't yet happened. I come to liberate your mind from the torment of what if, and call you back to the now, the very place where my spirit is more present than ever before. You cannot live 2 days at once. You can only live fully when you inhabit the present moment, the place where your breath still flows, where my word still echoes, and where miracles are waiting to be revealed. Each time you worry about the future, you drain the life out of the present. Every time you grow anxious over tomorrow, you forfeit the wonder that is unfolding right now. Do not let tomorrow, something that has not yet come, steal the glory of today, which already belongs to you. I want you to sit down, take a deep breath, and feel this. I am here, not in tomorrow, not in some distant moment, but here, now. And if I am here, then there is nothing to fear, nothing beyond my control. My child, stop analyzing things I never asked you to understand. Stop building fences around your heart to guard against what might go wrong. Because when you place your trust in my hands, even the worst-case scenario must bow before my authority, and I will turn it for your good. Do you not realize that the joy, peace, and clarity you've been seeking for your future are already present in my presence today? You don't have to wait until everything is resolved to be joyful. You don't need to reach some perfect moment in order to be thankful. Because choosing to trust me in the now is the most powerful act of faith, and it shakes the heavens. My child, there are things you've been praying about for the future that are, in fact, waiting on your obedience today. Some doors that seem unopened have not been forgotten. They're simply waiting for you to be ready. And you are not yet ready, not because you are weak, but because your mind is still lost in a place that doesn't yet exist. Tomorrow, come back to the present, not through striving, but through surrender. Not with logic, but with faith. You cannot walk with me and look ahead through eyes filled with fear. If your eyes are bound to what has not yet come, your ears will miss the whisper of my voice in this very moment. And my voice, it is the key to every direction you seek. Let me anchor you in the now. Let me lift that invisible cloak from your shoulders and replace it with a garment of peace. I am not calling you to know everything. I'm calling you to know me. And I am here, not in the distant possibilities, not in the imagined outcomes, but here in the sacred stillness of now, where my spirit breathes, where my love surrounds you, and where my guidance is waiting to lead you, one step at a time. My beloved child, the future is not something to be feared. It is something to be embraced. But you can only fully receive it when you are rooted in the present, when you see my outstretched hand and take hold of it without hesitation. Every promise I have spoken over your life is waiting for you at the intersection of trust and presence. And today, this very day, is your moment to choose again, not between good and evil, but between fear and faith, between control and surrender, between noise and stillness, that you might hear my voice. Oh, my child, when you learn to live each day with me, to dwell in each moment through me, the weight of what has not yet come will no longer burden you. For you will know that I am not only the one who goes before you, but the one who walks beside you. Each day spent in my presence is a seed sown into the great spiritual harvest that lies ahead. So, do not wait for tomorrow to begin living in peace. Do not wait until everything makes sense to choose obedience. Do not wait until the miracle arrives to decide to trust. Begin now, this very moment, when your heart begins to still and your soul ceases to struggle, yielding to my leading. I do not ask you to understand everything. I simply long for you to believe that I am enough, yesterday, today, and forevermore. When you believe this, every burden will fall, every fear will fade, and everything that once felt delayed will return to its appointed time. Beloved one, true life is not found in some distant place ahead. It is found in my presence, and I am here. Not far, not hidden, but near. Near enough to hear your quietest sigh, near enough to wipe away every tear, and near enough to place in your hands exactly what your heart truly longs for. So don't delay any longer. Don't let tomorrow's fears rob you of the healing I am offering today. Open your heart. Breathe deeply. Let go of the thought that you need to understand everything in order to move forward. Because sometimes the purest form of faith is simply to be still, to remain quiet, and to trust that I am still at work, even when you see nothing yet. And you will see not a future without trials, but a future where trials no longer have dominion over you. A future where you live not in anxious guessing, but in steady companionship with me. Step by step, day by day, breath by breath. That is true life. And I have chosen it for you since the very beginning. My dearly loved one, when your heart feels unsettled by unanswered questions, when your mind overflows with uncertainties, I am still there, silent but unwavering, like a mountain that cannot be shaken, like a refuge that remains secure in the storm of confusion. I see every anxious glance, every furrowed brow, as you try to grasp what is beyond your comprehension. I hear the quiet sighs in the middle of the night, when you ask yourself why everything seems so tangled. And my child, I speak this not merely to comfort you, but to affirm an unshakable truth. Everything that troubles you, even the tiniest detail, has already passed through my hands. Nothing happens beyond my sight. No event is allowed to touch you without first passing through my permission. Even when it feels like everything is spiraling out of control, You are never beyond the reach of my care. I do not merely see, I do not merely know, but I have orchestrated a way to turn what troubles you into the very thing that will birth a spiritual maturity in you that comfort alone could never produce. My child, stop carrying burdens I never placed upon your shoulders. There are matters that belong to me alone, burdens that only I have the strength to bear. You were never called to decode the entire map of your life all at once. You are simply called to walk step by step in the light I give. It is a light sufficient for today, enough for the steps just ahead, but not one that reveals the entire journey at once. Because I want you to learn how to trust. Today, I do not ask you to be strong enough. I only ask you to be humble enough to let go of what you cannot control. And I, in my kindness and infinite power, give you a gift, grace. Not generic grace, not the leftover measure from yesterday, nor borrowed grace from tomorrow, but grace appointed specifically for this moment. Do you see it? When you awoke this morning, before you opened your eyes, before a word was spoken, my grace was already waiting for you. Like morning dew across the fields, like dawn waiting at the edge of the sky, it was there. It did not come because you earned it. It came because I chose to love you without condition. And when this day ends, the grace for tomorrow will not be late. It will arrive exactly on time. Not early, not delayed. Precisely when you need it. That is my unchanging promise. A promise all of heaven bears witness to. I do not expect you to understand all my plans. I do not require you to unravel every challenge you face. If I demanded such things, faith would no longer be necessary. But because I know you are human, frail, limited, easily overwhelmed, I have given you the strongest weapon of all: faith, rooted in love. Faith is not about having all the answers. It's about continuing forward even when you don't. Faith is what lifts your head when your eyes are clouded with tears. Faith is the declaration of your heart when you say, I don't know what's next, but I know who my God is, and yes, I am the faithful one who never changes his mind. When you feel adrift in the current of life, when your reason is no longer enough to make sense of sudden detours, I call you to lean into me. Let yourself breathe against my heart, rather than bracing yourself in your own strength. I am not seeking your self-sufficiency. I am inviting your surrender. For in surrender, you will find true strength. My beloved child, I have made a promise to you, and I have not forgotten it. I have declared that I will never leave you, never forsake you, never withdraw when your heart grows weary. These are not hollow comforts. They are sacred covenants sealed by the very blood of my Son. No force can break them. No circumstance can render them void. When I say I will not leave you, I remain. Even in your doubt, my love does not retreat. Even if the whole world turns away, I hold my place by your side. My promises are the rock beneath your feet. When the earth shakes, when everything you once leaned on begins to crumble, it is my word that remains unshakable. You can stand, not because you are strong enough, but because I am the one who cannot be defeated. I know, my beloved, that you once placed your hope in many things, in people, in dreams, in carefully crafted plans, and many of them have fallen apart. But today, I come to remind you that you no longer need to anchor your hope in anything unstable. Place your hope in me, the one who never changes, and you will see, when your life is built upon my word, no storm will have the strength to tear it down. When your soul is anchored in my grace, no abyss is deep enough to consume you. So now, my precious one, take a deep breath. Gently release the burden of the future from your mind. Choose to rest in my presence. I am here, not to rebuke you for your weakness, but to hold you right there, within it. And as you remain in me, as you learn to trust me with each moment, each step, each breath, you will begin to understand that what you need is not a full map of the journey, but a deep knowing of me, the one who is writing your story, with a love beyond measure. My dear child, you are infinitely precious to me, not because of what you can do, not because of your diligence, your striving, or your faithfulness, but simply because you are mine. Your worth is not defined by your achievements, nor is it limited by your past or your stumbles. It is established by the unchanging love I have for you, a love that carved your name into the palm of my hand, a love that chose you before the foundation of the world and has never, not for a single moment, taken its eyes off you. I know there have been nights when you lay still in the darkness, unable to find the words, yet your heart overflowed with unspoken anxieties. I have seen your silent sighs, the ones you thought no one noticed. I have heard the questions echoing in your mind about your future, about your destiny, about the path you're walking and whether you'll have the strength to continue. You've wondered, if I feel this weak, how can I possibly fulfill what you've called me to do? If that door doesn't open, does it mean I've taken the wrong path? And if I fail, will you still want to use me? I hear it all, and I do not scold you for those questions. On the contrary, I draw even closer to you in those very moments. My child, know this: your fears do not push me away. In fact, it is in your weakness that I become strong on your behalf. It is when your heart is in turmoil that I step in to restore the peace that was shaken. And when you feel abandoned, lost, or numb, it is not because I've left you, but because I've hidden you within the shelter of my arms, shielding you from arrows you didn't even know were flying. I have already seen your tomorrow, my beloved. While you're still navigating today's steps, I have already walked into the days yet to come. While you are trying to imagine how everything might unfold, I've already completed details that haven't even crossed your mind. Every moment, every encounter, every decision, I have gone ahead of you in them all. Nothing takes me by surprise. What startles you does not startle me. What shakes you never shakes me. I have cleared the path. I have prepared the season to come. And even more than that, I am preparing you, not just to pass through it, but to stand firm and bear fruit in it. Do not let what your eyes see cause you to forget what I have spoken. Do not let closed doors convince you that I am silent. You have forgotten that before I open a new chapter, I often lead you into a quiet place, not to abandon you, but to teach you to trust me beyond your feelings. You've forgotten that some doors close not because you were wrong, but because that season has simply been completed. And some waiting is not delay, it is divine timing, where everything arrives precisely when it is meant to. I want you to remember this one thing. You are not walking into the future alone, trying to figure everything out on your own. I am walking with you. Indeed, I am going before you. And when you arrive at a crossroads where you don't know whether to turn left or right, I will be there. When you need a sign, I will send it. When you need to be uplifted, I will bring it to you. Perhaps through a person, a dream, a word, or even through a holy silence that stirs your soul. For I am not only the God who reigns from on high. I am the one who knows every heartbeat, every tear, and every step you take. Be at peace, my beloved. Every need of yours I already know. Every silent prayer I have already heard. Not a single sigh has escaped my notice. Even when you feel as though you're walking through a wilderness, I have already left my footprints in the sand for you to follow. And in the midst of trials, right there in the desolate place, I provide manna. Right in the desert, I cause water to pour forth from the rock. In the place where there seems to be no way, I open a path through the sea. And if I did this for my people in the past, how much more will I do for you? Because you are a child of the new covenant, redeemed by the blood of the spotless Lamb, sealed by the Holy Spirit, and called by a new name known only to me. You may not have all the answers right now, but what matters most is that you know me, and I am faithful. My faithfulness does not depend on how you feel today. It does not waver based on what others say about you. It is not shaken by delays in your circumstances. It is the solid rock, the stronghold, the unshakable refuge for your soul. When everything around you trembles, stand on that truth. When the winds of doubt begin to blow, anchor yourself in that certainty. And when you grow weary, lean not on your own strength, but on my faithfulness. My child, I know you are not perfect. I have never demanded perfection. What I seek is a sincere heart, a heart that admits when it has stumbled, a heart that listens when I call, a heart that still trembles when I draw near. And that kind of heart I see in you. I do not scorn you for your weakness, for it is in your weakness that my power is made perfect. I am not disappointed in you for doubting, for in those very wrestlings you have learned to walk by faith, and because of that I do not call you weak. I call you chosen. So keep walking forward, my beloved. Do not look back at your past as a sentence of guilt, but as a testimony of my faithfulness. Do not let yesterday's mistakes disqualify you from the future I am unveiling. Do not let fear delay the glory that is awaiting you just ahead. Remember, I am already in your tomorrow, and because of that you can live today with peace, with faith, and with a grateful heart. For what is coming will be greater than anything you've ever dreamed, and I will be there, just as I have always been, never absent, never forgetting, never abandoning a single plan. Everything is still unfolding within the everlasting love I have for you. My beloved child, engrave this truth upon your heart as an unshakable foundation. I am the author of your life, not chance, not some vague notion of fate, and certainly not the missteps of others. but my own hand has deliberately written every chapter of the story you are living. Before you were formed in your mother's womb, I had already seen this very day. Before you ever knew what the word dream meant, I had etched every longing into your soul with my eternal wisdom, and not a single line in that sacred manuscript is meaningless. Not one detail is unnecessary. Every part, even the chapters you thought were detours, the pages that left you weary, and the lines soaked in tears, has been written with unwavering love and a profound purpose I designed uniquely for you. You may be living in a chapter right now that causes you to question my guidance. You may feel entangled in plot lines where right and wrong blur together, and where the light appears hidden beneath a long shadow. But remember this, beloved. What you see is only a sliver, a narrow glimpse of a masterpiece that only I can fully behold. Where you see tangled threads and broken seams, I see the entirety of the tapestry. Each detail, each hue, each fold, contributing to a work of divine beauty that the world cannot comprehend. For I do not merely write your story to be told, I write it to reveal my glory through every breath you take, every wound you bear, and every miracle that unfolds in your life. Do not let temporary chapters cause you to misjudge the entire narrative. There are pages tinted with sorrow, not because I forgot you, but because I am using what appears to be loss to birth something that can never be stolen. There are seasons that feel delayed, not because you've wandered off course, but because what comes next requires deep preparation, not just in your surroundings, but in the fabric of your soul. There are days of silence, not because I have withdrawn, but because in that silence I am shaping within you discernment, patience, and resilience that you will need for what lies ahead. I am shaping you, not to harm you, but to awaken the divine potential I planted in you before the dawn of time. Like a potter molding clay, I am forming you not for a fleeting purpose, but for an eternal calling. What you are walking through is not punishment, it is preparation. Do not allow the pain to obscure the meaning. Do not let the dark moments make you doubt the light. These chapters are not in vain. They are vital to forming the person I have destined you to become. Not one who is broken by trial, but one who is refined through fire, made steadfast, wise, and anointed for a destiny no one can steal. Remember this, while you are asking why, I am working on the deeper question: who will you become? I care not just about where you're going, what you accomplish, or what you prove. I care about who you are becoming in the journey. I desire that your heart would grow in reverence, that your spirit would yield in obedience, that your vision would be enlarged, not merely to seek miracles, but to become part of the miracle itself, a living witness to my faithfulness, my grace, and my irreplaceable power. You may not understand why certain people had to leave. You may not comprehend why some doors remain closed. You may wonder why some dreams still wait in silence, and why prophecies seem to hover unanswered. But do not rush to conclusions while the story is still unfolding. Do not stamp the end on a page where I am merely shifting the scene. The chapters to come will make you look back and declare, so that's why. Even the moments I thought were wasted were preserved in the hands of the one who never lets anything go to waste. And the most beautiful part is this: I did not merely write the story of your life and then watch it unfold from a distance. No, my child, I am your companion in every page of that story. I am the author, the guide, and the ever-present breath within you. When you laugh, I rejoice. When you weep, I wipe your tears. When you fall, I do not start over from scratch, but I lift you up and continue writing your story with grace. There is no chapter too dark that I cannot redeem. There is no mistake too great that could erase the plan I have for you. For what I have ordained will not be revoked. What I have spoken will not return void. And what I have begun in you, I will bring to completion. So keep walking forward. Even if a chapter is being written with tears, do not close the book. Even if there are days when you feel nothing at all, do not stop believing. Even if you cannot grasp every detail, trust that the masterpiece is still progressing toward a glorious ending. Not because you are strong enough, but because I never fail to finish what I have started. My beloved child, the next chapter will not resemble what you've experienced before. It will carry the surprise of heaven, the freshness of the Spirit, and a divine signature reserved for one who has been refined in the hidden place. You will step into this new page not only with trembling feet, but with a steadfast heart, because now you know. Your life is not held by your own hands, nor controlled by circumstances, but entirely cradled in the hands of the one who writes every chapter with flawless precision. My beloved one, do not let rushed judgments, partial glances, or shallow standards of the world shake your understanding of your true worth. Do not allow the number in your bank account, the opinions of others, or the applause of the crowd to define who you are. The world may praise you today and abandon you tomorrow. Its standards are like shifting sands, unstable, inconsistent, and without foundation. But my child, I do not see you as the world sees. I do not measure the soul I breathed into based on passing things. Your value is not rooted in performance, accomplishments, or outward appearance. Your worth lies in this unshakable truth. You are my handiwork, woven together by my own hands, engraved upon my heart, and loved with a love that does not change. You do not need to strive to be seen. You do not need to compare yourself to feel adequate. I saw you when you were still forming in secret, and I chose you before anyone else knew your name. When you had done nothing at all, I called you precious. When you were still stumbling in uncertainty, I had already appointed a place for you in heaven's design. And this love, the love I have for you, never fades, never depends on your feelings or others' recognition. It exists because it is my very nature, and you are my joy. There will be days when you feel invisible in the crowd, as if no one notices the weight you carry in your heart. You may have done what is right in quietness and received no acknowledgement. You may have loved someone with your whole heart and were met with only cold silence in return. You may have obeyed me, turning down easy opportunities only to walk through prolonged loneliness. But hear this clearly. Not one act of love you've offered has been forgotten. Not a single whisper in the secret place has gone unnoticed. Not one faithful decision is too small in my eyes. I see it all. I remember. I treasure every tear, and every silent sacrifice is to me a fragrant offering, pleasing in my sight. So, my child, do not measure yourself by the fleeting glances of others, for they do not see what I see. They do not witness the nights you knelt in prayer, the times you laid yourself down to choose what was right. They do not hear the groanings of your soul in moments unknown to anyone else. But I know it all. I see every depth of your heart, even the places you've not dared to name. And even if you feel small, insignificant, or unseen, I see a treasure yet to be unveiled, a grand design still being perfected, a breathtaking masterpiece slowly emerging under the light of grace. Do not compare yourself to anyone else. A flower does not need to resemble another in order to bloom beautifully, and you do not need to become a copy of someone else to be worthy. I crafted you according to a one-of-a-kid design. No one else carries your spiritual DNA, and no one else has the exact same assignment. What I have called you to do, only you can fulfill. The gifts I have placed within you, only you can release. The exact sound I need in the symphony of my kingdom. You are not a coincidence. You are intentional. You are not an extra part. I made you essential. And even if the world has not yet seen this truth, it doesn't matter, for I, the one who fashioned the universe, have seen it. And when I see it, that alone is enough. Know this: you are living in a moment more meaningful than you realize. Even your daily breaths carry eternal weight. When you wake up and choose to trust me for one more day, that is a victory. When you choose love instead of bitterness, that is a breakthrough. When you refuse to compromise in order to remain obedient, all of heaven rejoices. Do you know that when a single soul chooses to stand firm in the dark, heaven's light has found a place to shine? And you, yes, you, are the place where that light is shining, breaking through and spreading. Not because you are strong, but because you have surrendered. Not because you are flawless, but because you are willing to let me finish what I started. You are my treasure, not an ornament to be displayed and admired from a distance, but a living jewel, held securely in the palm of my hand. There are things the world calls valuable that will still rot and decay. There are idols people worship today that will be forgotten tomorrow. But you, your soul, is eternal. What I have placed inside of you, love, faith, hope, righteousness, cannot be eaten by moths nor stolen by time. Every beat of your heart is a rhythm in the heavenly melody I am composing over your life. And every breath you take, whether in sorrow or in peace, is evidence that you are still being held in the life I give, that my plans for you are not yet finished, and that your journey still holds chapters waiting to be written. So rise, my beloved. Do not let the silence of others make you question the sound of my voice. Do not let outward indifference make you believe you've been forgotten. Stand up. Not because you are strong enough, but because I am lifting you with everlasting arms. Move forward, not because you can see everything clearly, but because you know the one who leads you is faithful. And lift your head, because I still rejoice over you, and I am still watching you with the radiant gaze of the one who loves you more than his own life. My beloved child, you are the one I have chosen, not only the one I love, but the one in whom I've placed expectation. Not only the one I protect, but the one I train. Not only the one I preserve, but the one I send. And because of that, every single moment of your life, whether hidden or highlighted, holds value. Nothing is meaningless. Nothing is wasted. Everything is leading you to a divine appointment where you will look back and realize your worth was never lost, never diminished, and never once removed from my heart. The heart of the one who has loved you with an everlasting love and who will never stop loving you. My beloved child, there are moments when you feel as if I am distant, days when you cry out but are met with only silence, seasons when you walk through life with an empty soul, eyes unable to see, ears unable to hear, and a heart numb to any sensation. And in those seemingly cold silences, you begin to wonder, is God still here? Is he still listening? Does he still care? But oh, my child, remember this. My presence is not confined by your emotions or your senses. I do not withdraw simply because you cannot feel me. Silence does not mean absence. On the contrary, it is in those very moments when you feel nothing that I am surrounding you more deeply than ever, like the air itself, unseen but essential. I am not merely beside you. I am in every breath you take, in every heartbeat that seems so ordinary. I am in the tears you try to hide, in every trembling step you take with fragile faith, even when doubt lingers in your heart. Beloved, faith is not a feeling. Faith is a choice. A courageous decision to believe in what you cannot see with your natural eyes, but is undeniably true in the eternal realm. Faith does not require emotional proof, but it stands firm upon everlasting truth. When you cannot feel me, it is faith that opens the door to recognize that I am at work. When you are confused and unsure where to go, faith reminds you that I am guiding your path. And when you feel weak, faith whispers that it is precisely in your weakness where my power is made perfect. Use that key, my child. Open your heart by faith, and you will see what the natural eye cannot see, hear what the ear cannot perceive, and comprehend what the human mind cannot grasp. I know that at times your emotions surge like great waves. When fear, doubt, and uncertainty rise so high they seem to drown out your peace. But do not let temporary feelings obscure eternal truth. Do not let one dark day make you forget the many radiant days I have already given. Do not let a fleeting sense of emptiness cause you to lose faith in the one who has sustained you through 1,000 unseen moments. You are not called to live by emotion. You are called to live by faith. And faith, my child, is not the forceful straining to believe. It is the gentle choosing to believe, even when your heart trembles. It is choosing to trust that I am good, even when life does not feel that way. It is choosing to believe I am still working, even when every door seems shut. It is choosing to believe that my love is still covering you, even when you feel unworthy of it. My love for you does not waver. It does not rise and fall with your feelings. It is not dependent on what you accomplish or fail to do. It is not fragile like human affection, easily withdrawn when you stumble or fail to meet expectations. My love is different. It is not performance-based, but rooted in the eternal nature of who I am. Faithful, kind, and unchanging. You cannot earn that love. You also cannot do anything to lessen it. You can only receive it with a heart that is simple, a faith that is tender, and a surrender that is humble. Bring me what you've been hiding in your heart. Do not hesitate. Do not think your fears are too small or that your doubts are somehow offensive. I do not grow weary of your prayers. I do not despise your weaknesses. On the contrary, I rejoice when you come to me with honesty, with no masks, no need to appear strong, no pressure to seem put together. You do not need to perform before me. You only need to be real. Come close to me with your questions, your tears, your unfulfilled dreams, and even the disappointments you cannot yet name. Lay them all at my feet, and then rise with hands a little lighter, because I will carry the heaviest part. You are not a burden to me. You are not too much for me. In fact, every time you choose to run to me instead of carrying the weight alone, heaven rejoices. Even your smallest whisper is heard. Every time you speak my name, I lean in to listen. You never have to shout to be heard. You are never forgotten in the crowd. You are never just one among many. To me, you are utterly unique, fully known, deeply loved, and personally called, and nothing moves my heart more than when you choose to hand me the very thing you are struggling with, even if you think it's messy, unfinished, or too complicated to explain. Do not carry burdens that were never meant for you. Do not strain yourself trying to accomplish what only I can do. I am the one who can bear what you cannot. I am the one who delivers you not only from circumstances, but from the fear that resides deep within. I am the one who sees you completely and still loves you completely. And that love will never leave you to fight alone. That love will never let you fall without reaching out to lift you up. That love is stronger than death, more steadfast than time, more enduring than any mountain, and deeper than the ocean. It is this very love that has sustained you through all these years, and it is this same love that will carry you to the very end. So, my beloved child, take a deep breath. Lift your eyes and know this: I am here, not far away but very near, not only above, but right here in this very moment, beside you, listening to you, strengthening you. I am not weary of you. I am not disappointed in you. On the contrary, I am waiting for you to draw closer, not to condemn but to heal, not to accuse but to comfort, not to demand but to give. And what I give will far exceed what you ever dared to ask, because I know the true needs of your heart even before a word leaves your lips. Let faith hold you. Let my love heal you. Let my presence surround you, not because you feel it, but because it is an unchanging truth. And in every day to come, keep drawing near, keep surrendering, keep trusting, because you have never been alone, and you never will be. For I, the one who began a good work in you, will not stop until I fulfill every promise I have spoken. In unfading love, in unwavering faith, in unbroken nearness, I remain who I am, and you remain forever, my beloved, my precious child. I know that sometimes your heart trembles before things you cannot understand. I know there are days when you look at your life and whisper in silence, "Why did that happen? Why must I wait so long? Am I on the right path, or am I wandering through a maze with no exit?" But beloved, calm your soul in my presence and listen closely. Not a single moment of your life is without meaning. Not a single door closes without a purpose. Not a single delay is wasted in the graceful plan I am unfolding with my own loving and faithful hands. Trust the process. I am working in you, even when you cannot see the end. Faith is not just believing in me when things go well. It is choosing to believe I am still at work, even in the wilderness, where there is no echo, no visible sign, and no one else can understand what you're going through. Every delay, though it may weigh heavy on your heart, is serving a higher purpose. Every unexpected turn, though it may startle you, is a stepping stone toward something far greater than you've ever imagined. I do not waste time. I am never late. What you call waiting, I call preparing. And it is in the days that feel the longest where I am laying the deepest foundation for the breakthrough that is coming from heaven. Do not envy another's journey. Do not look to the left or the right and assume you are falling behind. Every soul I have created walks a unique path in a unique time with a distinct imprint in my eternal design. What I am doing in you cannot be compared to anyone else because you were not created to be a copy. You are an original, one of a kind, never to be replicated. If you keep looking at others, you will become blind to the miracle quietly sprouting within your own life. Comparison is a thief of joy. It breeds doubt in what I am doing and makes you forget that, as long as you follow my voice, every step you take holds eternal value. Return and keep your heart tender. In a world that is loud and full of distractions, it is all too easy for you to forget the gentle sound of my voice. It is easy to chase after applause, dazzling lights, or things that seem urgent but are ultimately hollow. Yet it is only in stillness that I speak to you in a whisper that stirs your soul. It is only in surrender that I open doors no one can shut, and it is only in humility that I plant within you the seeds of glory, seeds that only you can carry into the earth. My child, do not be afraid when everything around you changes, for I am the one who never changes. Do not rush to draw conclusions while the story is still unfolding, and do not let one difficult chapter cause you to doubt the entire divine manuscript I wrote for you before the foundation of the world. Every pause is not an ending. Every silence is not a rejection. In those very moments I am still writing, with an invisible ink seen only by eyes of faith and hearts that remain steadfast. I long for you to come close, not so you can do something for me, but so you can receive what I desire to give. Closeness with me is not about striving. It is about resting deeply in love. Closeness with me is not about proving you are worthy, but about yielding so that you may be healed. In that nearness, you will find the kind of peace the world can never offer. You will hear my voice again, not as thunder, but as a gentle breeze brushing your soul, reminding you that I am here, still holding your hand, still whispering the way forward, one day at a time. Let your heart be tender before me, tender to be taught, tender to repent, tender not to resist my shaping, and tender to love as I love. A hardened heart cannot receive what is fresh from heaven, but a humble heart, that is the place I am pleased to dwell. And when you keep your heart soft like fertile soil, I will sow into it seeds of destiny, seeds that in the proper season will bloom into flowers so radiant that both heaven and earth will behold them in awe. Be patient with your steps, even if they seem slower than others. If you are walking with me, then you are walking in the right direction. Remember, not everyone who moves faster arrives sooner. The one who walks the right path, with the right posture of heart and with the right companion, that is the one who will arrive at the destination with the fullness of blessing. And I, yes, I am the way, the companion, the destination, the author of your story, and the one walking beside you through every chapter of life. My beloved, what I have prepared for you is truly good. It lacks nothing. It contains no error. It will not be left unfinished. And if you have not seen the fullness of it today, do not be quick to assume it is absent. Wait. Wait with faith, with hope, and with a heart that knows, if it is my hand that is leading you, then what is coming will surely exceed anything you have ever hoped for. I am speaking. I am still teaching you day by day, perhaps not in the ways you expected, but always in the way that is best for your soul. I am moving forward, not just for you, but with you. This journey is not about you struggling alone to earn my approval. It is about me and you, continuing to write a glorious purpose, so that through your life, many will come to know me, trust me, and step into the light that you now carry. So walk in rest, not in haste. Keep your heart pure. Do not allow bitterness or envy to slip in. Continue to listen, even when all you hear is silence. For sometimes it is precisely in the silence that heaven is carving a path. And above all, remember this: I am not merely accompanying you. I am the one who has already determined the destination, who has mapped out every step, and who watches over every beat of your heart, with a love that never changes, from everlasting to ever. And what I have begun, I will finish, in brilliance and fullness, and no one will be able to stop it. My beloved child, do not let the failures of your past become chains that bind your heart. Do not allow your stumbles, the moments when you could not stand, or the choices you regret, to define who you are. You are not measured by how many times you fell. You are defined by the one who bent down and lifted you up in unconditional love. I do not call you by your mistakes. I do not rewrite your identity based on what you did wrong. I call you by the name I have ordained: redeemed, beloved, chosen, and bearer of glory. My grace is not fragile like the love of this world. It does not come and go with moods or performance. It is an unending river, always flowing toward you, especially in the moments you feel least deserving of being loved. And when you feel most empty, most powerless, most desperate, that is precisely when my power is at its most tangible. Not when you succeed or shine, but when you tremble and break. That is when I draw near, kneel beside you, and wrap you in mercy that has no conditions attached. O child, do not remain in the shadow of shame. Do not let the accusing whispers in your mind make you shrink from my presence. I do not turn you away. I do not dwell on what you did wrong. If you could see my heart, you would know that I am not only the God of justice, I am also the Father of mercy. I take no delight in watching you carry burdens that were nailed to the cross. I do not want you to live trapped in a constant sense of debt, when I have already paid every cost in full with the blood of my Son. My child, I did not hesitate to give up what was most precious to me in order to redeem you. The freedom you now possess is not cheap. It was bought with innocent blood, with a love that is unmoved by your failures. When I died in your place, I did not merely cancel the judgment. I gave you a brand new beginning, a blank page, a sacred rebirth that nothing can erase. So do not live as though you are still in chains. Do not walk as a slave, when I have already called you my child. Lift your head. Shake off the ashes of regret and clothe yourself with the robe of honor. For this is the portion I have ordained for you. I do not seek perfection from you. I seek a willing heart, a heart that dares to return when it has wandered, a heart that dares to cry when it has failed, but refuses to stop there, a heart that knows, even if it falls 7 times, it can rise 8 times by my strength. It is in the very pits where you have fallen that I have placed my feet and reached out to lift you. In your weakness I build a strength that does not come from flesh, but from my spirit, and that power will not only help you rise, it will cause you to walk with boldness, with victory, and with a resilience that nothing can stand against. My beloved, let go of the fear that your past will always haunt you. Reject the accusing voices that replay over and over in your mind. Sever the invisible cords of shame that have kept you circling in self-condemnation. You are no longer living under a verdict. You are living in a new covenant, where grace surpasses law, where love overrules judgment, where life triumphs over death. And in this place, you have the right to walk in complete freedom, not because you are good enough, but because I have paid every price in full. My beloved child, step out of the land of fear. Let me wipe every tear from your eyes and anoint each fracture in your soul with the oil of healing. Let me rewrite the pages of your life that were once stained by sin with the ink of mercy and restoration. You do not need to fix yourself before coming to me. I alone am the one who restores. I alone am the one who heals. And I alone am the one who heals. And I alone am the one who can turn what once seemed worthless into a living testimony of heaven's glorious transformation. Each time you fall, I do not keep count. I extend my arms. Each time you return, I do not criticize. I run to meet you. Picture this: a father who runs, not with a rod but with open arms, not with eyes of condemnation but with a face lit up in joy because you came home. That is who I am, my child. And there is nothing you have done that could ever extinguish the joy in my heart when you choose to return again. Let this truth sink into your heart, that my love is not only for the strong, the successful, or the morally perfect. My love is for you, the one who is learning to stand, learning to trust, learning to let go, one step at a time. You are not the sum of your failures. You are a living witness to the endurance of grace. You are not confined by your past. You are being called by your future, a future I have ordained, full of hope, full of blessing, and no one can stop it if you continue to walk forward. And if doubt still whispers, just remember this: I am the one who chose you when you had nothing to offer. I am the one who saw you in the darkness and still said, I want you, and what I have begun, I will bring to completion. So, my beloved one, do not remain in the old place. Shake off the ashes. Rise from where you once stumbled. Walk forward with steady steps, not because you've never fallen, but because you know the one who lifts you, and walk in freedom, the true freedom that only I can give. Freedom that was bought with blood, sustained by love, and handed to you, not to be hidden, but to be lived, to be shared, to show the world that true miracles are not just found in healing old wounds, but in living a new life, unafraid of ever falling back into the former darkness. I am walking beside you, and even in your weakness I will not let go. Even in your weariness I will hold your hand. Even if you forget me in a fleeting moment, I have never forgotten you, not for a second. You are still mine, from beginning to end, and that will never change. Walk on, beloved. Be brave and move forward, you who have been redeemed with the highest price. And remember, you are not merely forgiven, you are restored, not only lifted, but exalted, not only cleansed, but given a new name. And I, the faithful one, will not rest until you see yourself through my eyes. Beautiful, strong, treasured, and loved eternally. My dear child, every day ahead of you, though you've never stepped into it, has already been fully seen by me. Not a single moment is random. Not a single event slips beyond my sovereign hand. The days that await you are not blank pages of uncertainty. They are pages I have already written with eternal wisdom, profound love, and a goodness that never fails. While you are still wrestling with the unknown, wondering what will happen next, I am already standing at the end of that road. While you feel nervous about the future you cannot yet see, I am already present in every step you are about to take. With divine arrangement, gentle guidance, and unshakable protection that no force can destroy. Therefore, do not let your heart be bound by fears about tomorrow. Do not waste the precious gift of today by worrying about what has not yet come to pass. I know the questions that spiral in your mind. Am I enough? What if something bad happens? What if I fail again? But my beloved, I have not called you to live by speculation, but by trust. Tomorrow may lie beyond your control, but it never lies beyond my embrace. I do not merely know the future, I hold it. I do not simply foresee what is ahead. I walk with you into it. I go before you, and I stand behind you. No one can reach you without first passing through my protection. Today, this very moment is a gift of grace. It is a sacred opportunity to live fully, not in fear, but in the awareness that I am here. That I am walking beside you, and that I am breathing life into you with every breath you take. Look around you, my child. There is so much to give thanks for. The sun still rises, your heart still beats, and your soul still longs to know me more deeply. These are signs that you have not been abandoned. On the contrary, you are living within a grand design, every detail of which I cherish as the careful strokes of a masterpiece. Each day, whether ordinary or extraordinary, is a chance to discover a new depth of my love, to grow in wisdom, to have your faith refined, and to receive the joy that flows from heaven. My child, I long for you to live each day, not merely to survive, but to shine. Not with your own strength, but with the strength of the one who placed his spirit within you. You were not created to dwell in the past or to be tormented by the uncertainties of the future. You were made to live wholeheartedly in the present, the very place where I wait to meet you, to speak to you, and to use you as light in a darkened world. Do not trade the joy of now for the winds of unrest about what has yet to come. Open your heart, take a deep breath, and believe this. Today, though it may not be perfect, is the day I have made, and in it, you can find reason to rejoice. When you entrust the future into my hands, you are not just laying down a burden. You are stepping into rest. A sacred rest, not born from circumstances, but from trust. I want you to know, you do not need to know every answer in order to have peace. You only need to know me, the one who holds every answer. I am never caught off guard. What confuses you does not confuse me. What troubles you does not disrupt my eternal plan. I am the one who saw it all in advance and still declared, "My child will overcome." I am the one who weighed every load and still placed it in your hands, not to crush you, but so you would see my strength revealed when you learn to lean on me. Just imagine, there is one who goes before you, preparing the path, clearing the way, placing the right people at the right time in the right place. And at the same time, that same one walks behind you, shielding your back from unseen arrows, from snares, from words, from wounds you never knew were waiting. And then between the front and the back, right where you stand, I am there, surrounding you on every side. You are not exposed. You are not abandoned. You are in the shelter of heaven, under the shadow of my wings, where my whisper gently reminds you, "Peace, my child. I am here. Do not fear what has not yet come, for what is not yet here still lies within my dominion. Do not fear tomorrow, for I am already in it, long before it ever arrives. And do not fear that you might not be enough, for I am your sufficiency. If you lack strength, I give power. If you lack wisdom, I give understanding. If you lack hope, and if you feel too small in the vastness of this world, remember this: a tiny seed in the hands of the Creator can grow into a tree of life for an entire generation. My beloved child, I do not love you only on the days when things are easy. I love you just the same in the moments when you are afraid, weary, or weak. My love does not waver, whether you are smiling or shedding tears. And because of that unchanging love, I long for you to live with boldness, not a boldness born from instinct, but one rooted in faith. A boldness that trusts I am carefully guarding every detail of your life. A boldness to live each day as a declaration of victory. A boldness to no longer worry like those without hope, but to live as one who knows the hand that holds all things. Let your heart become a dwelling place for unshakable peace. Let your mind be formed by the truth that you are covered, you are guided, and above all, you are loved. And in the days ahead, when the winds may rise, when clouds may gather, when the world may shift, you will still be able to lift your eyes and declare, "Lord, I fear nothing, for you are the one who goes before me, and you are the one who stands behind me. You cover me with everlasting love, and nothing, no one can stop the goodness you have prepared for my life." So walk forward, step by step, day by day, with simple yet steadfast trust. Don't worry too much about the map, because you have the one who leads. Don't be anxious about what you cannot yet see, because my light is enough to illuminate your steps for today. And above all, remember, every day, whether ordinary or extraordinary, is marked by my presence, and that alone is enough for you to live, to love, to believe, and to walk in peace that cannot be shaken. My precious child, pause for a moment and listen, not with your natural ears, but with the deepest part of your heart, the place where I have always whispered. Amid the loudness of the world, amid the relentless voices of pressure, fear, and worry that seep into every crevice of your mind, I want you to hear one thing clearly: my peace. Not external stability, not fleeting emotion, not artificial silence, is what I give to you, and unlike the peace the world gives, fragile, conditional, and breakable, my peace is an eternal stream flowing from the throne of glory, never running dry. It does not merely soothe circumstances, it heals the soul. The peace I give is not contingent on whether things go according to your plan. It exists even when everything falls apart. It can remain in the midst of the storm, and it is often most powerful when you have no other place to cling to. That peace is built upon the unchanging truth that I am the one holding all things, that I am your fortress, your refuge, the one who never shifts in a world that constantly does. So, my child, let this peace reign in your heart, not as a vague feeling, but as a sacred authority. Let it dwell like a ruler, like a light that drives out every shadow trying to linger in your soul. When you allow my peace to take the throne, the noise of anxiety will be silenced. The heavy thoughts about the future, the unanswered questions, the aching memories from the past, all will bow to the presence of peace, sealed by my very spirit. You were not created to live in perpetual worry. I did not design you to be trapped in cycles of stress and fear. You were not born to be in constant fight or defense mode. No, my beloved. You were made to live in peace, to breathe in hope, to be immersed in love. I crafted your soul with space designed for stillness, and only I can fill that space completely. If you continue to let other things invade, your soul will grow weary, and you'll forget that you were never made just to survive, but to truly live. To live deeply, to live boldly, to live drenched in grace. And if I have already provided you with everything, peace, hope, and an unchanging love, then why would you settle for less? Why would you accept weariness, anxiety, or the lingering feeling of unworthiness? You were not called to live in a constant striving to be enough. You were called to live in the contentment that comes from me. A contentment not rooted in circumstance, but in the unwavering truth that you belong to me, that you are loved, and that you need not do a single thing more to remain in that love. My beloved, remember, I am for you, not sometimes, not only when you succeed, not only when you feel worthy, but always, every day, every hour, every breath. And if I, the creator of all things, the one who holds eternity in the palm of my hand, have chosen to stand with you, then who could stand against you and prevail? No force, whether within or without, from past or future, from human or demonic origin, can overturn the backing of heaven when I am the one who advocates for you. Even the things within you, the sudden doubts, the unnamed fears, the moments when your heart wants to give up, none of them can separate you from my love. You may grow weary of yourself, but I never grow weary of you. You may forget me for a time, but my gaze never leaves you. My love is not only stronger than your emotions, it is steadfast beyond time itself. It is not merely the love of a powerful God, but the love of a Father who will never forsake the child. So silence the accusations swirling in your mind. Still the whispers of fear. Let the peace I give be the place where your soul comes to rest, where you are renewed, where true life is found. That peace is not dependent on the notion that everything will work out, but on the eternal truth that I am still here. And if I am here, then no matter what comes, you will never be alone. No matter how fierce the storm, you will not sink. No matter how long the journey, you will not lose your way. For I am the way, the light, and the life. Therefore, my precious one, pause right now. Close your eyes, breathe deeply, and whisper in your heart, I belong to Him. I am covered. I am not abandoned. Let those words take deep root within your soul, like an unbreakable covenant, declaring that even if the world shifts, even if people turn away, even if you falter in your strength, my love will remain unshaken, and my peace, that flows from the very heart of the Father, will never leave you. Live each day with this awareness, and you will see the things that once terrified you will shrink under the light of my peace. The burdens that once weighed you down will be lifted by the hands that bore the cross for you, and the doubts that once questioned your worth will be silenced by this magnificent truth. You are loved. You are protected. You were chosen to live in an unshakable peace. There are still chapters yet to be lived, paths that will require courage, but you do not walk them alone. My peace will be your provision. My love will be your driving force. And I myself, the one who called you, will walk beside you, not merely so you can finish the journey, but so that you may walk it with a heart full of life, full of joy, and full of unwavering confidence in the unchanging faithfulness of your Heavenly Father. My beloved child, as you continue forward, whether the road ahead is smooth or rugged, whether the light is brilliant or dim, the most precious thing you can hold on to is the unwavering gaze fixed upon me. Do not let your vision be distracted by glittering, hollow things that line the wayside. Do not allow your heart to be drawn away by the noise of this world, the opinions of people, or even the whispers of doubt within your own mind. Look up, where my eyes are searching for yours, where I wait for you with a love that never fades and a plan that never fails. You don't need to know every step ahead in order to keep moving forward. You only need to be sure of one thing. I am going before you, and the light of my face will be enough to illuminate your path, even when you find yourself standing at a crossroads, uncertain of which direction to turn. I am already there. I never abandon you at an intersection, and my light, it is not blinding to cause you fear, nor is it dim to stir up anxiety, but gentle, steady, and sufficient for you to clearly see the next step. So walk forward, even if it's just one step, as long as you walk with me. My Holy Spirit is not an abstract concept. He lives within you. He is the Comforter, the faithful companion, the one who understands every emotion, every inner conflict, and every tangled thread in your heart. When you don't know what to say, He prays on your behalf. When you run out of words, He groans with intercession for you. And when you fear that you've taken a wrong turn, He becomes that still, small voice within you, not shouting, not forcing, but gently whispering, leading with a tenderness that moves your soul. My child, do not evaluate your spiritual journey by speed or emotion. There are seasons when you may feel as though you're standing still, but in truth, I am doing a deep work within you, beneath the surface, beyond what human eyes can see, but fully visible to heaven. Growth is not always loud. True transformation often happens in silence, like a seed buried in the soil, hidden from view but quietly taking root in preparation for a powerful season of rising. Even when you feel nothing, even when you believe you're making no progress, I am still at work. I have never stopped, and you are growing, not according to man's standards but heaven's design. You are being transformed day by day, moment by moment, not to become better by worldly measures, but to be conformed to the image of my Son, Jesus Christ, the one who is humble yet full of power, gentle yet carries absolute authority, the one who conquered not by sword, but by sacrificial love. I am not molding you to resemble someone else. I am shaping you into the very one I envisioned from the beginning, a reflection of heaven's glory, shining in a dark and chaotic world. Know this: every step you take with me carries eternal weight. Every time you choose forgiveness over resentment, every time you choose silence over strife, every time you choose obedience over compromise, that is another stroke in the portrait of Christ being etched into your life. No one may see it all, but I see. No one may understand, but I understand, and I take delight in your sincere heart, far more than the grand gestures others may expect. My dear child, do not fear if you can no longer hear my voice as clearly as before. Do not be confused if your spiritual emotions feel muted. Your relationship with me is not built on feelings. It is built on truth, sealed by a covenant of blood, and sustained by faith. I do not come and go according to your mood. I am the Eternal One, still whispering you in your weakness, still holding your hand when you've wandered. You cannot go so far that I cannot find you, and you cannot fail so much that I stop believing in you. So take heart. Do not stop just because some days feel ordinary. It is in those very days that I am laying new foundations. Do not give up simply because you don't yet see the fruit. The harvest always comes after the sowing. And do not turn back just because someone seems to be moving faster. I do not count steps. I look for faithfulness. If your eyes remain fixed on me, if your heart remains soft to hear the Spirit, and if you keep walking, even slowly, then you are headed in the right direction. And I am smiling upon you. Live each day with the awareness that you are never walking alone. Every time you take a step, I am walking beside you. Every time you pause in weariness, I sit next to you. Every time you lift your eyes, my gaze is already there. I never abandon you mid-journey. And if you lose your way, I will guide you back. If your heart grows faint, I will renew your strength. And if you ever forget who you are, I will remind you. You are my beloved, redeemed at a high price and never forsaken. You are being transformed, not by your own might, but by grace. You are growing, not to earn acceptance, but because you are already loved. And you are drawing nearer to the finish line, not because you are flawless, but because I am faithful. Your glory does not lie in never falling, but in rising every time you do, in daring to believe the promise even when you see no evidence, in fixing your eyes on me when everything around you tries to pull you away. So, my beloved, continue on, step by step, day by day, breath by breath, with your eyes fixed on the one who loved you long before you ever knew him. I am the author of your story, the companion in every chapter, the one who ensures that not a single step you take is ever wasted. And if you keep your eyes on me, your heart tender, and your ears attuned to my whisper, you will not only reach your destination, you will be transformed with every stride from glory to glory until others look at you and see me reflected. This is what I am doing, and I will finish what I have begun. My beloved child, I know there are nights when you lift your eyes to the heavens with a heart full of unanswered questions. There are mornings when you awaken with tired eyes and a soul burdened by things you cannot begin to understand. You ask yourself, why? Why do the battles never cease? Why do wounds find you just when you are trying your hardest to live uprightly? Why does darkness still press in, even when you are doing everything you can to walk in the light? You are not rebelling, nor are you turning away. You simply long to know why tears have become such a familiar companion on your journey of faith. Today, be still. Let me, He who sees the innermost chambers of your soul, speak to the weight you've been carrying in silence. I do not ignore your sighs. I do not look coldly upon your wounds as if unmoved. Not a single pain you've endured is invisible to me. Every silent tear, every wordless sob, every question that echoes only in your mind, I hear it all. I see it all, and I hold it close like treasure. I never take pleasure in your collapse or in watching you drown in sorrow. I find no joy in allowing battles to leave you weary. My love is not cruel. It is not distant. My love is so deep that even my only son walked through agony. Not because I delight in suffering, but because I know there are treasures that can only be born through fire. And now, I want you to understand, these trials you're walking through are not signs of abandonment. They are signs of refinement, not evidence that I have withdrawn, but a divine opportunity for me to draw near. So near, in fact, that you might feel my life rising within your ruins. In my eternal wisdom, I have allowed certain trials to touch your life, not to crush you, but to deepen you, not to discourage your heart, but to strengthen it. Just as the potter passes clay through the fire to shape it into a vessel of value, so too do I use the fires of life to burn away what is impure and reveal the pure gold within. The kind that your own eyes could never have seen. Sometimes, the only thing that can break through the hardness of the human soul is to be brought to the very end of yourself. And it is there, in that place where human strength fails, that I begin to reveal the power of heaven. Do you know this, my beloved? The moments when you feel weakest are often the very moments when you are closest to my power. When you can no longer lift yourself, you are forced to fall into my arms. When all earthly supports collapse, then and only then will you see that I am the solid rock. When you weep alone, you will discover that I am the one who wipes away tears, not with hollow promises, but with my real, living presence. I have not permitted these trials to punish you, but to refine you into the person I destined you to become from the very beginning. You are not merely being saved, you are being transformed, And that transformation, at times, requires walking through the fire. But that fire will never destroy you. It will only consume the invisible chains: fear, pride, bitterness, reliance on man, and all the false foundations you once thought were secure. The fire does not burn your soul, it illuminates my image within you. Every time you walk through a season of suffering, a layer of your old self is stripped away, and a new version of you is born, stronger, softer, wiser, and more radiant with glory. Do not think that hard days are a sign of failure. Do not assume that tears and fatigue mean a lack of faith. Even Jesus, my beloved Son, cried out, sweated drops of blood, and asked for the bitter cup to pass from him. But he did not turn away. He obeyed, and in that obedience, salvation was completed. So it is with you, my child. What you are walking through now is part of a glorious story that I am writing, and when the dark chapters close, light will break forth in brilliance, not only to brighten your life, but to shine through you as a beacon of hope for those still wandering in the shadows. Let me change the way you see trials. Do not view them as punishment. See them as an invitation to draw nearer, to know me not only through miracles, but also through pain. An invitation to believe even when you do not understand. An invitation to choose to love me, not because I do what you want, but because you know I am good, no matter the circumstance. Do not fear the fire, dear one. I am in the fire with you. Do not fear the crashing waves. I am still the one who commands the sea to be still. Do not be afraid when you have nothing left to hold on to, because when your hands finally let go, it is mine that will take hold of you. And when you feel like you are breaking apart, remember, the seed must break open for life to spring forth. You are not dying. You are being born. This is not destruction, it is birthing, not an ending, but a divine beginning to a purpose far greater than you ever imagined. Remember this, my child. I did not make a mistake when I chose you. I did not err in allowing these things to happen. And I certainly did not make a mistake when I called you beloved, anointed, and set apart to carry heaven's glory into the earth. Every trial will one day pass, but what I forge within you, courage, endurance, stability, wisdom, compassion, will remain. And those things will make you strong, not in the way the world defines strength, but in the way heaven records it. So, my beloved child, if you are walking through the fire, do not turn back. If you are moving through the storm, do not stop. If your tears are falling, do not be ashamed. Know that I am with you, working in the midst of it all, writing a radiant new chapter out of what once seemed broken beyond repair. And I will not stop until you rise, refined, renewed, and radiant with my glory, becoming exactly the person I have destined you to be. This is the work I have begun, and I will surely bring it to completion. My precious one, you have walked through many seasons, some vibrant with hope and joy, and others heavy, silent, and seemingly fruitless except for the tears they carried. I know how many times you've asked, why me? Why does the struggle seem endless, as if I'm moving from one battle to the next without reprieve? But today I want you to understand something so deeply true that if you hold on to it, you will no longer be surprised by trials, but you will walk through them with eyes wide open, a heart no longer trembling, and a faith rooted deeper than ever before. Beloved, without resistance, there can be no true growth. A tender sapling cannot become a mighty tree unless it is tested by the wind. And it is the wind, the very force that seems to oppose, that drives the roots deeper and strengthens the trunk. Gold, too, must pass through fire to be made pure, no matter how polished it looks on the outside. Likewise, your faith, if never tested, remains only theory, just words. But I have not called you to a faith that lives on your lips alone. I am shaping within you a living faith. A faith that stands firm in headwinds, that does not waver when the circumstances shift. A faith that trusts even when the path ahead remains unseen. I invite you to look at trials not as punishment but as gifts. Gifts wrapped in rough paper, yet containing within them precious gems carved by my very hand. I do not send trials to diminish you, but to reveal the foundation on which you stand. Trials do not create faith, they expose the true quality of the faith already inside you. They reveal what is steady and what is still unsettled. They come not to strip you of purpose, but to refine it, to separate the counterfeit from the genuine, to strip away the layers that no longer serve the higher purpose I am forming in your life. Do not be afraid when your weaknesses are revealed in times of distress. It is in those moments that I open your eyes to see what fleeting peace had hidden, cracks that went unnoticed, habits that seemed harmless but slowly corrode your soul, fears that remained unnamed. All are brought to the surface under pressure, not to shame you, but to invite me in to heal, to help you see that you were never meant to hide, but to surrender, not to toughen your own strength, but to let go so I can be your strength instead. And in every single trial, I am engraving into your heart something more valuable than silver and gold, an unshakable spirit, a steadfast character, not formed in success, but birthed in sorrow and obedience. I am shaping you, not into someone numb, but into someone deeply compassionate, not into someone hardened, but into someone unwavering, not into someone cold, but into someone who knows how to love with a love that costs. And you will see, after every battle, you are not just surviving, you are living with greater depth, understanding more clearly, and reflecting my glory more fully. My child, I do not do things halfway. When I begin a work in you, I will see it through until it is complete. Every trial you are going through is not a random occurrence. They are intentional highlights, carefully placed within the spiritual symphony of your life. They are the drumbeats that awaken hidden strength. They are the sorrowful violin notes that teach you how to listen. They are the crescendos that reveal the greatness of the Creator, who composes each melody of your life with flawless precision. You may not feel anything now except overwhelm, but you are not alone. I am with you, not as a distant observer, but as the one walking beside you each step, even carrying you through the stretches you cannot cross by your own strength. What you see as pain, I see as an essential part of birthing a new creation. What you call limitation, I call the beginning of a miracle. What you label failure, I call the very place where my faithfulness and unshakable power will be displayed. And when time passes, when you look back at the trials that once brought you to your knees, you will be surprised, not because they were light, but because you were transformed. You will no longer be the same. Your heart will be wider, your eyes deeper, your words carrying the weight of experience, not to impress, but to heal. and others will look at you and sense something different. Not a glow of grandeur, but a depth. Not an outer polish, but true life. Not because you were impressive, but because you allowed me to mold you, and you did not run when the fire was lit. So, my beloved, do not fear. When trials come, remember, they are shaping you, not to break you, but to usher you into a new dimension of your destiny. Stand firm. Know that you are in the hands of the faithful one, who never loses his way, who never gives up, and who never lets a single ounce of your pain be wasted. And when this refining work is done, you will come forth as pure gold, not shining because you were never burned, but radiant because you walked through the fire with me and allowed me to make you into someone no one, not even yourself, ever imagined you could become. This is my aim, this is what I am doing, and what I am doing no one can stop. Not a single battle is meaningless, not one tear is wasted, not a single trial is beyond my control. All of it is used to make you steadfast, beautiful, deep, and complete, just as I intended from the very beginning. Take heart, my child, for what I have begun in you, I will surely bring to glorious completion. My beloved, you often wonder why you feel like a stranger in the very world you live in. Why, even when you seem to have everything that should bring happiness, your heart still burns with a silent longing that has no name. Why, even when the world around you celebrates fleeting pleasures, your soul cannot find rest in them. Now, listen closely. For I long to unveil a truth that, if you grasp it, will forever change the way you see your life and everything you're walking through. I do not measure your blessings by how comfortable your life is, nor by the number of pleasant things you possess. My eyes are not fixed on outward success or the earthly notions of fame. My thoughts are not swept away by the fast-paced rhythms of this age. Do you know why? Because I do not only care about the years you spend on this earth, I am preparing you for eternal glory. That is what I keep in focus. I love you too deeply to let you lose yourself in temporary comforts. I love you too much to let you settle for anything less than what is worthy of the eternal soul I have placed within you. You may not immediately understand why I have allowed you to walk through paths marked by trials. But, my beloved child, never believe that I do this to punish you. On the contrary, I am moving with a deep and unwavering focus on one purpose alone: to prepare you, not just for today, but for eternity. The pain, the unanswered questions, the silent struggles no one else sees, they are not forgotten. They are part of the sacred process of deepening your soul, sharpening your faith, and unhooking your heart from what is fleeting, so that it may be anchored in what is everlasting. My child, I see the weariness in your spirit as you strive to live uprightly in a corrupted generation. I know the sighs that escape you when you are misunderstood, when your silent sacrifices go unnoticed, when you have turned away from easier paths to keep your heart pure. I see it all. I remember it all. But do not seek reward from the hands of man, for the reward you await does not reside in this world. Your reward is me. It is the glory you shall enter on that day when every tear you have ever cried will be wiped away by my hand, when every mystery will be unraveled in the light, when every ache in your heart will dissolve into unspeakable joy. You do not belong to this world. That is why you often feel like something is missing, like a beautiful melody that always lacks the final chord. You see smiles, but they lack fullness. You witness success, yet your soul feels hollow. You behold fleeting beauty in the world, yet you are always awakened by a longing you cannot quite name. That is because you were made for another kingdom, a place with no pain, a place without deceit, a place where love is not tainted by motive, where worship is not diluted by ritual, and where my presence is never obscured by the busyness of life. So, my child, live as one who is journeying toward home, not as one building a permanent life in a land of pilgrimage. I am not asking you to despise your earthly life, but I want you to live with awakened eyes, with the understanding that everything here is only a shadow, a faint sketch of what awaits you in the unshakable kingdom. And because I know what is eternally good, I sometimes withhold what is immediately pleasant, for I am giving you what holds eternal value. Do not be surprised if you feel increasingly different. Do not be afraid if the things you once pursued no longer satisfy. Do not shrink back when your longing for heaven makes you feel alone in a crowd. That does not mean you are lost. On the contrary, it is a sign that you are being guided in the right direction, toward the place where you truly belong. Every gentle stirring in your heart, every moment you feel out of place in this world, is a whisper from heaven, reminding you that you are a citizen of the kingdom, a child of the Eternal One. My beloved, the world will try to convince you that you need more to be happy. More possessions, more recognition, more applause. But I tell you, you don't need more. You just need to be closer. Closer to me, closer to my eternal presence, closer to what cannot be shaken. For where I am, there is home. And you will never lose your way if your eyes remain fixed on mine to find your direction. So keep walking, even when you cannot see each step clearly. Keep being faithful, even when it brings you no earthly recognition. Keep believing, even when all you hold on to is a promise yet to be fulfilled. Because I, the one who has called you, do not speak in vain. And the day will come, the day when all that you endured for my name will become a radiant crown, the day when your quiet, unseen choices will be met with the proud gaze of your heavenly Father, the day when you cross the threshold of this temporary life and hear me say, "My beloved, welcome home." This is why I refine you. This is why I allow the barren days. This is why I do not let you rest in fleeting comfort. Because I know, if you cling to the world, you will lose what is eternal. But if you allow me to pull you out of what you thought was safe, I will bring you into where you truly belong, a life that cannot be shaken, a love that cannot be broken, and an everlasting home in my very presence. And until that day, I will continue to shape you, teach you, comfort you, and walk beside you. No trial is ever wasted, no tear is ever in vain, no detour is ever meaningless. All of it is leading you toward glory, not the kind the world offers, but eternal glory, where you will behold me as I truly am, and where your heart will be fulfilled in ways this earth could never offer. That is what I have prepared, and that is what awaits you, my beloved one. Now, lift up to me your honest prayer. Lord, in the midst of all that is uncertain about tomorrow, I come before you with a heart that trembles. I know you have not called me to live in anxiety, but to walk in the peace you have given. Forgive me for letting my heart be carried away by things beyond my control. Today I lay down every burden and fully surrender my future into your hands. I choose to believe that your grace is enough for me today and that it will continue to be enough tomorrow. Help me to live each present moment fully, to recognize that in you I lack nothing. Give me a still heart and spiritual eyes to see that you are working, even when I cannot understand. Lord, when my emotions cloud the truth, when fear and doubt drown out my faith, draw me back to your heart. Help me remember that emotions change, but your love does not. Even when I don't feel your nearness, I choose to believe you are closer than my breath. Restore in me a simple yet fierce faith, that I may live not by what I see, but by what you have spoken. Let me walk firmly on the foundation of your promises, so that even if the storm rages, my soul remains at rest in your presence. Lord, I often find myself caught in comparison, measuring my worth by shallow standards of this world. I forget that my value is not defined by achievement or the opinions of others. Today, I renounce every false label I've carried and return to the truth you've given. Etch deeply into my heart that I am your treasured creation, the masterpiece of your love. Teach me to live like one who knows they are loved, chosen, and destined for greatness in your kingdom. Help me see myself through your eyes, eyes that never despise, but always delight in me with joy and tenderness. Lord, when I walk through the furnace of trials, remind me that you do not abandon me. In my pain, grant me heavenly perspective, that all things are working toward a greater eternal purpose. Help me see that resistance is not my enemy, but a tool to refine my soul. I offer you my silent tears, my sleepless nights, and my unanswered questions. Exchange my ashes for beauty, my weakness for your strength, and my brokenness for a living hope. You are the one who turns what was meant for harm into good, and I choose to trust in you, regardless of the circumstances. Lord, I hear your call, and my heart trembles, knowing that this is the hour of decision. Please help me not to delay, not to hesitate before your invitation to step into the fullness of life in you. I receive Jesus Christ with all my heart, not merely as knowledge, but as my Savior, the Lord of my life, and my dearest friend. Holy Spirit, I ask you to lead me, teach me step by step, and shape me according to your likeness. Though the path may be narrow, grant me strength never to turn back. I choose the way that leads to eternal life, the path where you walk with me. I surrender everything, my past, my present, and my future, so that I may walk forever in the light of your love. Lord, I thank you for your presence that has never departed from me, even when my heart was too blind to see it. Thank you for going before me in every circumstance, for preparing the way I should walk, and for shielding me from dangers I never even knew existed. You are not only the one who created the stars, but also the one who holds me close each day. Every whispered prayer, every tear I've shed, none have gone unnoticed by you. Thank you for your everlasting love, for mercies that are new every morning, and for blessings that never run dry. Lord, I praise you for revealing that this life is not the final destination, but a journey toward an eternal kingdom. Thank you for allowing trials not to destroy me, but to prepare me for a glory beyond imagination. Thank you that every stumble has purpose, every sorrow carries a spiritual lesson, and above all, I thank you for Jesus, the one who paid the price for me with his own life, so that I may live forever in unending, radiant glory. I offer you my praise and my deepest gratitude, today and always. I offer this prayer and thanksgiving in the holy name of Jesus Christ. Amen. If you love the Lord, don't forget to click subscribe and turn on notifications so you won't miss out on any life-giving, meaningful messages from God. Together we will grow in faith and live a life fully rooted in His love. Amen.